welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a minute. I've been, I don't know, depressed. Not really depressed, but like busy with other things, and I had other focuses, and I was honestly feeling a little stuck on what to post. But then I found this amazing YouTube channel. It's Erin May Henry. I'll leave a link to the description down below. And she has really motivational videos, and she inspired me to get back on this and like really organize and plan my content for you guys instead of just winging it like I normally do. So here we are. So if you don't know me, if you're new to my channel, my name is Milena. I am an artist from Brazil, but I live in Chicagoland currently, and I love drawing, and I draw digitally and I draw with markers. Those are my favorite mediums, but you will see me do other things here too, like testing watercolors and things like that. But today's video, I wanted to do a sketchbook tour. Some people asked for it on Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll leave the link down below also. It's mostly art and just personal life stuff on the stories, but I only post art on my Instagram account. And so the sketchbook I'm doing a tour of, oh, by the way, I wanted to give a shout out to Varvara, who made this adorable plushie inquiry. I need to name him something else to make him mine, but he is so soft and squishy. She did a Kickstarter for these little guys, and I backed it a while ago and it just arrived, and I can't get enough of it, this little guy. Plus his color scheme matches my wall, so he's gonna be my friend today, and we're gonna hang out. But the sketchbook that I want to tour today is this one. I'm holding it up so you can see it to scale. It's a very small crescent Rendr Sketchbook that I started back in 2017. According to the date I wrote on some of these drawings, and I just fell out of love with it right away. The paper is the stone paper, and I didn't really like how the Copics laid on it at first, but after my neck injury, which you guys know about, and if you don't, there will be a video about it eventually, but this was the only thing I could do on my own time, because now whenever I do art, I have to sit at a desk and have the desk come to me, so I have like the perfect posture so as to not aggravate my neck. But this I found to be the only size that I could just sit on the couch late at night and just sit and then like draw like this. And so I finished it, and I want to say in less than a month I finished the whole thing after I picked it back up. So I can't wait for you guys to see what's in it. Shall we get started? So I'm gonna do this standing today. Like I said before, this is the sketchbook that I finished, and I haven't finished the sketchbook in quite some time. Back when I was in school, I finished them really fast. I would be like, oh, I have a new sketchbook that I'm almost done with, but ever since graduating, I haven't really had the time to just sit and sketch and do fun things, which is a shame. But anyways, this is a sticker that I made, and then it's a coloring sticker, so it's black and white, and then you color it, and I did color it with Copics with the color my hair was at the time. And this is a sticker from Salty Dame that I got in Chicago at a Midwest Flair Fest, I believe. And like I said, Rendr paper is by Crescent, and it's unique because it's not made from trees, it's actually made from stone, which means that it's not see-through. So when you have like a page, normally these Copic swatches would bleed to the other side, but as you can see, there's nothing there, which means that even though it's few sheets, you get twice as much a bang for your buck. You get more to draw because you can draw on both sides. These are some notes I had on like a portfolio review at school. So I started this when I was still at school, which you'll see because there's drawings by some of my friends in here too. Here it says, if the story is not interesting, make it interesting by making interesting pictures. My teacher Dan said this, and like I had to write it down. This is like a Gorgon girl I did, and as you can see the date here says February 13th of 2017. So this is an old drawing. This is back when I was starting to figure out blending. This is a portrait of Doe Deer. I did not do her justice. A quote, do what's good for you or you're not good for anybody. And I hate this skin tone that I did. I put, I think it was Buttercup, like the color for the main skin, and she turned out really yellow. You can't really see it on the video, but in real life her skin looks really like sickly. It's not a good skin tone. I was trying to figure out how to color hair properly, so this is a photo from Pinterest. This is Anna Karen Hell. I like the way I did her eyes and her hair. I think it looks good. This is another drawing I did back then. I never sketched it or inked it until recently, so this is like nearly inked, and I'm covering it because, you know, I want to keep this sort of PG. Atlee did not do her justice, looks nothing like her. This is Laura Zombie. If you don't know her, she's an amazing artist. And this one is, it says here 305, so it's still March 5th of 2017. This is a drawing by a friend of my friend Karis, and this is the drawing of Karis by Karis, because they both wanted to try the paper, and I'm very like, yeah, sure, here. Sometimes at conventions, people will come up to me and be like, oh, you have so many Copics. And I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, I've always wanted to try them. I'm like, well, come on back. And like, they will come and sit back with me and use my markers. Maybe I should stop doing that. Hatsume Mei from My Hero Academia, and then my baby, like Lord Explosion Murder, Bakugo. I love him. He grew on me so much. I do not particularly like these drawings, but I would keep this notebook open at my tables at cons, and people would be like, oh, can I buy that? And so I got commissions from it because I'm not, you know, gonna sell my sketchbook, but people wanted to just buy this, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll make it. Aizawa, the best teacher. And then I was just, you know, playing with negative space and doing more landscape things. This is a vampire character that I thought up that time. I like the black, red, and just kind of like this lavender shadow. I think she's pretty. This is a person actually that stopped by my table once, and she was dressed like this, and I was like, oh, can I take a picture of you and draw you? And she's like, yeah, sure. Sadly, I forgot to write down her name, but these are all still from 2017. This is some 2017 drawing from my Apocalypse Girl series, in which they all wear face masks, so I don't know if I should still make it since it's so now, but at the time. So she had a backpack that has like some plants in it for oxygen. And then this is where 2020 starts. Some Zentangles I did with a brush marker, because I haven't used a brush marker in forever, so they look kind of janky. But this is when I injured my neck. I drew this, which is it's me. It's supposed to be me without a neck, because it was giving me so much pain that I was like, I would almost rather have a floating head and not have a neck. So this is the first drawing I did in this in 2020, and it was when I injured my neck, so it's a couple months old. This is something I like to do when I start a new art material. This is for the Uniball Air Pen, which is this one. And this is the pen that I used in this entire sketchbook. From here on out, I used this. This is the actual one that finished. I bought a pack of 6 of these now, so I can start the new one, which I'll show you guys. But it's amazing. It's like, it's a ballpoint, but it's inside this case, so you can get thick and thin lines with it. But this one is really dry, so I'm using it only for texture now. I'll leave that there. And then I drew Rimuru-sama from the time I got reincarnated as a slime. Borzois and Soe, also from the time I got reincarnated as a slime. Some eye studies. I keep telling my little students, like, dudes, you need to practice, you know, like even I will go back and like just draw a bunch of eyes occasionally, as you'll see on this page. It's just a bunch of eyes. Let me zoom in closer. There. Is a bunch of eyes that I did from a study, but I thought that this is like really funny because it looks like they have a lazy eye and a third eye looking up. So I wrote LOL. And then I drew Kirishima, who's so adorable, a manly man. And then we started watching Kimetsu no Yaiba, which is Demon Slayer, and holy moly, if you haven't seen it, it's an amazing show. The backgrounds are amazing, the character designs are amazing. So I did a bunch of studies, and if you're curious, these are all freehand, straight to pen. I didn't draw any sketches underneath, which is why it's a little bit wonkier than normal, but I didn't adjust anything. But that's what I wanted to do with this sketchbook. I wanted to make it more just free, whatever, you know, free flowing. And as I started getting more into it, some existential questions started coming up, and so I decided to just write them down, you know, like, and then more eyes, portraits. I do not like this. The hat looks wonky. That face looks wonky. Everything in this page, except for her, she's pretty, but everything else looks really wonky. But I really do like how I did her hair in this. And then I wrote, "You're just having an off day, sweetie," because everything I was drawing, I was like, sucks. Everything sucks. Mindless scrolling. This is how I was feeling after that day. And so I wrote, "It's a bad habit I would like to break, or very much like to break." Because I would just be on Instagram scrolling instead of producing anything. And that's the easiest way to drain myself from energy. I was thinking about making a stamp. I have pen pals, so I was thinking of making a stamp seal, like for a wax, so my letters would be pretty and more old-fashioned-y. I really like this one with the jellyfish, but this is the one I ended up with, and this is also going to be a stamp for my Patreon orders. Right now, shout out to my Patreons, our patrons. I really appreciate you guys. So this is the stamp I'm gonna start putting on the envelopes. It will say like "handle with care," because there's art inside. This is in April 14th. So this is where I started to actually date it, because I was like, okay, I've been using this for a while, I want to keep track of it. I drew this egg-shaped person, inspired by Danny DeVito, whom I love, and then Inosuke, and kind of hard, dumb of ass, because he's an adorable baby, but he's also really, really dumb and makes really, really aggressive, but I do love him to pieces. Again, more existential drawings. Whenever I draw from imagination and without reference, I get really existential. So there's a lot like, what are you even doing? Who are you again? Rules are just suggestions, you know? Who cares what they say, because the rules are for breaking. But like, arguably, my reference-free stuff is not as good as my stuff with reference. And that's the case with a lot of people. Of course, I was watching The Divorce Prada again. So I wrote a quote from the movie. If you know me, you know that I watch the movie like bi-weekly. So this was already May 6th. I was rewatching the Hawaii season of Terrace House, and Lauren Tsai, I love her. She's such an inspiration. Like that haircut though, because it was so pretty. So I was drawing her from the TV show. Like I would pause and then do a quick sketch And with this is where I started incorporating the Copic marker in with it. It's a W4, like a warm gray 4. And with this piece, for instance, I did the shadows first, and then I went back in and did the ink on top, and that tends to work for me. Same with this, I did the shadows, and then I went in with ink. You see, like, I messed up where her chin was supposed to be like 3 times before I got it right, but there you go. This is May 10th, and by now I'm just keeping my, well, W4 pen, and then this pen, and then this sketchbook on my coffee table, so that every time I have some like TV idle time, I can just draw. I found this on Pinterest and I thought, ooh, what a great like way to study shadows and just contrast, so I copied it here. And then I found a portrait, and then I drew her also, again doing the shadows first and then going in with the pen on top. I really love cross-hatching. I have whole sketchbooks of just this texture when I was trying to learn how to do it properly, but I really like this piece. And then here's some insight into my brain, because I stopped. See, as you see here, it was like May 10th, I drew all of this. And then the next entrance is in May 24th, and I wrote, I've been afraid of drawing in here because I thought it would suck and look bad, so I haven't been experimenting or trying anything new, let alone old. I don't know why. The worst that could happen is that then I make another one, and if that one sucks, then another one, then another one, and another, until suddenly they do not suck anymore. And this kind of like, it was like releasing a pressure valve from, like, if I was a pressure cooker, this was when I released the pressure valve, and I was able to just say, you know, screw it, I'm just gonna do whatever, and who cares, it's my sketchbook anyways, nobody's really gonna see this. Well, now you guys are seeing this, but I think it's important to show you that, like, I also fail, and that I'm a person, I'm not a machine, so you know that I have my struggles too. So then I started with this one, which her eyes are a bit small, but still believable. A tree nymph from a photo I saw. These are with reference, by the way. Another girl. I love drawing girls. And then I started drawing from imagination, sort of like mushrooms. And then I thought, mushrooms look like tutus. So let's put like ballerina legs under it. I ran out of space. This one, I really like this one with the skirt. I love fungi. I think they're really cool. Then more existential stuff, more stuff from imagination. I like her face. I feel like there's something here that I should explore more. This way of drawing noses, maybe. Fish. I really like these guys. Again, this is all without pencil underneath. This is just straight up pen and marker. Winnie Harlow. And then I did these for Black Lives Matter. And then I did this while I was chatting with my friends on Zoom. And I was just like, you guys, I don't even know, like, look at this. And they were like, that's so cool. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? And so this is where I started getting confident again. But I really like these Zantangles behind her. I think that the addition of the W4 marker really made it pop. This is when I found out that Daisuke Richard, who's an artist that I adore, had a Copic line. Like, he did a set for Copics of Copic chow markers that are only sold in Japan. But he also gave you the list of which Copics there are, and since they have all of the Copics, I had the colors. So I pulled the colors from my stash and I decided I'm just gonna use these colors for the rest of the sketchbook. I had like 10 pages left. And I drew this cyberpunk girl from this is like a store that sells this coat, and I thought that this was so cool, such a cool outfit. I'm really happy with it. And then I made this mistake, and after I made this I was like, well, I'm just gonna draw a bunch of those then. It's raining now. Make it work. I did these Alice in Wonderland inspired ones with these quotes. and I wanted to make them like reverses of each other, like blue hair, blue shirt, pink shirt. But I really like how these turned out, and I think that this is gonna be a Patreon reward eventually. Like I'm gonna make 2 postcards of these, and then that's what's gonna be the $10 reward. I hope my patrons like it. Then more stuff with reference. I thought her face was really unique, so I drew it, and she had really blue eyes, so I used the lightest blue from the Daisuke Richard set. This one I wanted to make like how, you know, in shadow things are desaturated, but when there's light they're saturated, so I wanted to sort of portray that light. I don't know if I was successful. I still like it though. I really love this one. It's very dreamy. I inverted the colors of the sky, you know, because it would have been so easy to just make this blue, but I decided to make it pink with like pink fluffy clouds, and her hair is blue. I really like the way I highlighted her hair. I like the way I left the negative space for her highlights on her skin instead of coloring it all in, which apparently is a lesson I did not learn, because by the time I got to here I color her whole face in and it's really dark, and I should have left it like her leg. You know how it's white and then beige, but I put it all in shadow. I was trying to be faithful to the reference, but this is not so successful. Then I did this one, who I really like the way I made her latex skirt look shiny. But other than that, it's not very successful. Then Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I love the way, this is when the pen started to die. As you can see, the lines got really thin. But I just made it work. I really like this color scheme overall. And then this one, in the photo reference, she had like actual cherry blossoms in the back, but I wanted to make it more focused on her, so I blurred it in the back by not adding lines and just making shapes. And these are all just the same color, and I just like did it over and over again until I had a variety of tone. I really like how this one turned out, and then I thought that this shadow of her was really neat, so I did this one right after. So these were all done on, let me see the date, June 5th is when I did these. And that's it. That's the end. If you were curious for which Copic markers are in the Daisuke Richard, take a screenshot of this, because these are all the markers that I used. These are not in the kit, these are the ones in the kit, but these are the warm grays that I used. And so the end, June 6th of 2020. And so this concludes how my sketchbook, how I was able to finish the sketchbook, and I really like flipping through it. I think that the unified color palette really adds interest for me personally, I think. And I'm really happy that I actually finished. So happy that in fact I went out and I had to, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on a roll with, you know, drawing again. So I called Blick to see if they had any W4 refills for my Copics, because if you don't know, Copic is discontinuing the big size refills. So if you can find them in the colors that you need, stock up now. So I found one on Amazon, but it's not gonna be shipped until August. So I called Blick and they didn't have it online, and I called them and I was like, oh my gosh, do you guys have like W4 refills? Like I really need it. And she's like, you're in luck. And since I had her on the phone, I was like, do you also have Rendr mini sketchbooks? Because this one I got when I bought the big hardcover one, which I haven't finished and I might never. But this was like a freebie pack when Rendr first came out. If you bought the big one, you got this one for free. And so I bought three more of these. At Blick, I think that they're priced at around, I want to say like $8 or $9 a piece. But this, I do love drawing small, so it's the preferred size for me. They're not cheap. I get that, but I really need it. And I haven't started it at all. It's completely blank. I did manage to put a Magikarp sticker on it. I got this sticker back in years ago at a convention, so I don't remember. It's by Oddly Cute. I really like this sticker. Magikarp is my favorite Pokemon, and it's the Pokemon that Tim said that I would be. And I'm like, cool, it means I have a lot of potential, but I'm not a Gyarados yet. Anyway, enough about me. If you did like this video, please hit the like button so I know that you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed, do so. I am planning on coming up with videos every week for you guys, and I hope that I can add to your life and add value to it with my ramblings. I'm gonna start this one today, and we'll see where it goes. So until then, I hope you stay healthy, stay safe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.